Zach LaVine could be heading north of the border to the Toronto Raptors in a blockbuster trade, and DeMar DeRozan is simply not happy with the abysmal start and how the players have treated each game so far this season. I'm your host, Joey Mercer. This is another episode of Bulls Digest, and before we get into it today, I just want to mention that about 97% of you are not subscribed to the channel. So if you're looking for a place for daily Bulls content, then look no further. You found the right place for you. Go down, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications by hitting the bell. And every day when we upload, it's 7 days a week, as I've mentioned before, and you will be notified as soon as we upload a video so you can stay up to date with the Chicago Bulls on everything that you need to know. It's right here on Bulls Digest. So the first thing we want to talk about today is LaVine to Canada. Yes, there has been some rumblings of Zach LaVine leaving the Chicago Bulls, as a lot of people in the media and other teams' GMs have speculated that the Bulls are going to finally blow things up and go into a full tank rebuild right away after a bad start to the season. They've been without Lonzo Ball now for almost 2 years, and Zach LaVine is the player that probably has the most trade value on the Chicago Bulls right now, when he is a former two-time All-Star. Although fan bases may think otherwise because LaVine isn't as good of a defensive player as an Alex Caruso, he is a former two-time All-Star, which GMs tend to salivate over a little bit more than a guy that just made an all-defensive team last year. They're definitely looking for players that can score the ball more if they're looking to win a championship, as opposed to just a player that can play defense and shoot threes. Caruso definitely has some high value, but LaVine is a guy that can put up 25 points a game, which is very hard to find in the NBA. Definitely not discrediting Caruso in any way there, because he is definitely a phenomenal player in this league and one of the best this season so far. So the article that actually piqued my interest here was this one by Sports Illustrated. It said, Toronto Raptors expected to have a level of interest in trading for Zach LaVine, according to an NBA insider. Lakers, Heat, and Sixers are also expected to be on a chase for the Bulls' stars play. So yeah, we talked about yesterday the preferred locations that Zach LaVine came out with his agent and said he would like to go to. But we did not mention the Toronto Raptors in that, but they definitely have some assets that some of the other teams do not have. When reporting on this, Shams Charania actually said, I'm told the Raptors are also expected to have some level of interest in LaVine. Masai Ujiri is always aggressive in his approach. The Raptors are a team to watch, said Charania. So yeah, interesting to see there that the Raptors could make a big jump for Zach LaVine. They are really missing a scorer and have lacked that, where they have so many players around the 6'9" size on their team right now. They just picked up Dennis Schroeder, who's playing solid for them so far, but if they could upgrade Gary Trent Jr. at the shooting guard, that would definitely make them better, and we could probably get some assets back in return that can make us better in the long run when it comes to draft compensation. They have some younger guys on the team, and they might even be able to give us a Gary Trent Jr. or someone similar to that can make us at least relevant right now, or at least a fun team to watch if we do go into a full rebuild. The next thing I saw on it was, the likes of the Lakers, Heat, and Sixers are already well known for their interest in a star, given their current competitive stand and the level of interest they gather as big market teams. Toronto being included in the LaVine sweepstakes sounds quite interesting as they continue building up their core of Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes, and OG Anunoby under new coach Darko Rajakovic. Outside of Dennis Schroeder, Toronto does not have another dynamic scorer, and going all in for LaVine makes sense for them from the contending standpoint. So a lot of you may argue the fact that Dennis Schroeder is not a dynamic scorer. He has been pretty good so far the year. His three-point shooting's been up and down for his entire career. However, he can get that mid-range, a solid shooter from there, and he's great downhill. Also a solid player in transition, but definitely more in the half court right now at this point in his career. He doesn't quite have the first step that he did when he was with the Hawks, but it's sad to say he is really the shot creator on this team right now. OG Anunoby's a 3-and-D player. Scotty Barnes is a player that is developing into someone that can create a shot, but definitely not quite there yet. He's shooting the ball way better from three this year, but he's a guy that kind of just likes to be given it in transition or given the ball downhill in the lane or maybe even in a post-up. Not necessarily a guy that's going to be taking you off the dribble and shooting a mid or a pull-up three although he has dabbled in some pull-up threes so far this year, so maybe he can develop into that soon. Pascal Siakam, not the guy that you like to dribble the ball, pick up, and shoot. He loves to go into the lane, do spins, and some spot-up threes as well. And then Jakob Poeltl, of course, not a guy that's going to be creating a shot. And Gary Trent Jr. cannot do it consistently enough to be considered as good as Dennis Schroeder. So that's just the facts right now for what they have going in Toronto. The second part of this video that I want to talk about is how DeRozan has felt lately with the team is really eye-opening. So DeRozan will not settle. No, he will not. He has actually come out and said recently that even if the Bulls decide to rebuild, he is not somebody that wants to give up on a team. The head office would have to make the decision for him to be moved, and he would not want to push himself out. When asked about more things upon this, so this is what DeRozan had to say in some struggles that the Bulls have had more recently as far as losing games and not putting in full effort. He has definitely been disgruntled with that. It's if you're going to lose games, I can definitely feel where he's coming from. At least if you're putting the effort in, it can look good towards the fans and you're battling for that win as opposed to just giving up so early within a contest. The next thing that I saw was we've just got to take it out of our mind that we've put ourselves in that situation so many times and just go out and play. You get down a couple shots, don't go in, it kind of steamrolls. Stay with it one play at a time and not get caught up in missing shots. Not get caught up in them making shots. Letting the crowd down, just one possession at a time, DeRozan explained. So yeah, he really does feel that the team is really letting things get to them lately. It hasn't been a solid team as far as their mental prowess. You haven't seen the guys really like miss shots, and right away it's almost like a goldfish situation. Forget, get back. No, they're really putting their head down, dwelling on a missed field goal, and not getting back on defense, leading to transition for other teams. And then they get themselves in such a hole, it becomes nearly impossible to get back, and you're basically battling yourself out of games when they could definitely be winnable contests. When we lost to the Pistons, they've lost every game since. It's really horrible to see that they lost that game when LaVine had such a great contest with 51 points, and then the rest of the team was just head down, not getting things done, and really dwelling on the fact that shots weren't falling, or they were getting fouls called against them on the defensive end, and letting that take over their game, and not playing at their best, and that's definitely not what you should be doing as a professional in the NBA, but it is definitely hard, and it is definitely a learning curve for the Bulls right now. Next thing I saw was actually Billy Donovan's take on all of this. He said, I try to give him a little bit of time to talk. It's listen, we have got to pick up our pace here. They're talking, the talk is constructive, there's positivity in there, like, come on, let's go, we're better than this, that kind of stuff Donovan shared. So there's definitely players on the team saying that we need to pick things up, we need to play better, we need to be better, and it doesn't seem like he's the one that kind of butt in, which can be good in a sense, but maybe they need to light that fire underneath them, and they really need somebody to take control of the team and not just have the players really dictate what's going to happen. There needs to be a balance there. A coach has got to be a coach, and a player that's been in the league for a while has to mentor some of the younger guys. But the coach still has to be in charge of the offense and kind of work with the players on what they think is going to work the best. The players are in the game, and the coach is watching it from an outside point of view, and I think that there needs to be better balance there, as opposed to him just giving the reins to the players and not taking things over when they get down in the dumps like this. Next thing that he said was, it's great to talk, but we have to go out and do it. I'm glad we were able to overcome it, but it's certainly a hard way to live doing that. So nobody's happy with the fact that the Bulls are losing, especially Billy Donovan. Has he done much to change this, in my opinion, so far? No. He is in a very difficult situation, and it is very hard for him to make the changes that he needs to make at the moment, but he is just simply not trying to do them at the same time. DeRozan has a reason to not be happy with how the team is playing lately. Even if they're losing games, they need to put in 110% effort, especially the younger guys, because even if this team goes to a rebuild, We need to have some prospects coming up that are going to put the effort in and grow with the team, as opposed to just flailing out of the league very soon and withering away. We need to have some better players to grow and not have players that are going to fizzle out of the league very soon. This has been your host, Joey Mercer. I can't wait to see you in the next video of Bulls Digest. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like and comment down below and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Signing off.